What is up, guys? Welcome back. So today we are jumping into our next episode in the How to Paint series for Monster Fight Club's Borderlands, Mr. Torgue's Arena of Badassery. I recently got my Kickstarter, so I'm going through all of the Kickstarter minis that we got, and we're doing Athena today. Athena is an NPC in Secret Army of General Nox and is the Gladiator class playable character in Borderlands, the pre-sequel. She used to be a Lance Assassin, even claiming to be the top operative of the Crimson Lance and a leader of an Omega squad, but has since defected. I do like Athena a lot. I do have some really cool reference photos too that is on the Borderlands fandom, because they show her gun and she has her gun here and I can just see everything right then and there. So everything we need is in our reference photo. So let me just give you guys an idea of how the reference looks. Also, in the meantime, I'm going to prime her up, let her dry, and then we'll be good. Okay, so while that is drying, you can click on the picture that is on the... So when you look up something on the Borderlands fandom, it'll bring up a picture of what you're looking up with a description and everything underneath it. If you click on the picture, it gives you more references. So what we're going to do, this is perfect. Her stance is a little bit different. This arm is like more out here, but the rest of her stance is literally this. So we're going to be looking at this photo more, but I did notice there is also this photo that shows all of her outfit all the way around, which is also really good. I can reference this too to see the back, obviously, because this picture right here only shows the front, so I don't know exactly how the back looks. So now that the miniature is primed, I can dry brush a lighter gray. I use a Dove Gray from Folk Art. It's cheap, very cheap, but it's the best thing to use if you're dry brushing, especially with your first paint that's going on there, because everything else is going to get covered by your expensive paints. It's the smart thing to do, and it's the best way to save your paints. All right, so with the miniature finally dry and dry brushed, we are going to focus on our base coats. So there is a lot of red on her. She has like a bluish, like a dark bluish kind of hair, but it's also like a gray too, or like a black almost. It's kind of weird how her hair is, but we'll see how we can work that out. She has some brown in her outfit, and she has gray. So, and there's also a little bit of off-white in certain spots, but I'm trying to check on this model to see if it's the same one as I'm looking at. So we're going to hit all of the areas up with a basalt gray, which would be her pants and her hoodie and scarf. So you want to hit them up, most definitely. Her belts, unlike yesterday when we did Wilhelm, her belts are actually a leather brown, not black. Okay. So I decided against using the basalt gray for the scarf and hoodie, because I think the hoodie is darker too as well. Yeah, so that's a darker piece too. These little trim pieces, the lines, that is a lighter gray, so that could be basalt. So I might run this over with basalt. But I'm going to use a Tenebrau gray for the hoodie piece and the scarf, because it is darker. It is also a dark gray for the arm bandage, or that piece. See, it's red on one photo, and then it's black on another. No, so it's black here, and then it's red at the very trim. So make sure that you don't hit all the way. This little piece right here should be red. This should be Tenebrow gray, or a dark, very dark gray. So we're going to hit this up, and then we'll see it when it's done. Always thoroughly look at your reference photo. So there is some things that I did miss. There is one strap on her that is black, which is the knee pad leg thing. So the strap that goes around the knee pad, that is actually black, not a leather brown. This is leather brown. So you have that. You have the two pieces here. That is also black, not black, but a very dark gray. We did the gloves as well. This glove is a full black or full dark gray glove. And then the shield, we did an outer trim with the basalt gray, and then we did in the symbol, and then right on the outside of this would be a red. There's also a piece on her back below her like vest jacket thing. There's one strip of black, or I keep saying black because this is so dark that it's almost black, but it is a very dark gray. That is a dark gray, and then we have the piece in the front that is a dark gray. Don't forget to do that. And I'm already seeing a piece that I missed. So this side is also the same as this side. So we want to do this with that same color, leaving the edge there as well. So I'm going to hit that up before moving on to a brown. And what we're going to do with the brown is how we've been doing all of the other browns that we've been doing recently, and that is using a leather brown, because we go over with a glaze of a leather brown glaze, and it makes it pop like really well. So I'm going to patch this up real quick and then move on to the browns. So with the brown now set, we did it on the belt here. We did get the jacket. Be mindful, if you are painting this miniature, you do have to get behind the shield. So that is a difficult place, because you're kind of in between her breast and the shield and her arm at the same time. It's very annoying. You also get the back of her jacket. There is a little piece right here that you do want to hit up too. And then the belt. So now we are going to hit these pieces up, which is a lighter gray. So we're going to use a warm gray at that point, because it's not too light, but not too dark. So we're going to use a warm gray, and we're going to hit those areas up. And maybe move on to a silver gray for the parts that are very bright on her outfit. Alright guys, so I did add the warm gray in these areas. None on the back, we didn't need any there. We had to use the silver gray, which is a brighter gray, for here, right here, and we had to use it on the back here, and she has strips that go down her legs. So that side and this side right here. Now what we can do, we can move on to the red. She has a lot of red. We're going to start with a darker tone red, and then worry about a lighter tone in the highlights. And we're going to edge highlight some, I think, very light gray on that instead of a, so it might be a gunmetal, it might be, but I think I'm going to do a light gray with that. We'll figure that out when that time comes, after we do all of our glazes and stuff. So we're going to move on to the reds. She has a decent amount of red here. She has her leg pieces, also her arms here, her shirt in there, the sides of her right there. So there's a decent amount of red on this miniature. Okay, so we have all of the red. We did work on the gun. We used a burnt red for all of this. Like, all the red is a burnt red. And then I used basalt gray to do some of the metallic parts. we are going to highlight with a metallic on those areas. Also, I'm going to be putting a straight metallic on her boot pieces. So the very tip of the boot here and the back area. So that's what we're going to do, just straight metallic. After that, we are going to work on her skin tone. Thank God it's not too much. We just have to do her face and her arm right here. Also, I'm going to put metallics on this part. And actually, I might not do this part. I might highlight it with metallics over here. But I am going to put a metallic on the belt buckle piece. The piece that goes around this. There is a blue that I have to put in here. If you guys can see it, like her little belt piece. And then, yeah, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to do the metallic down here, and then we're going to work on the skin. With the skin, I do a 3-part. I go over with a brown rose first, covering all the skin. Then I minimize the area that I'm painting, and I cover it with a beige red. The darker tone gives it an undertone of red, which is good. And then I go over that with either a pale sand or a light flesh. I might go for light flesh today. Pale sand is good. I could also mix it as well, see what I get out of that. But we're going to do the gunmetal on the feet and then start layering up our skin. And once the skin's done, you guys can see that. So the skin tone is finally done. I think we're doing pretty good. Trust the process. It might look butt ugly if you're painting, but sometimes after the process is done, it's okay. So we're done with the skin tone. Now we're going to start glazing with our paints. We're going to do a leather brown over the brown. We're going to do a Gravelord gray over everything, including the red areas, except for the brown areas. Okay. And yeah, so leather brown, Gravelord gray. After that's done, we will go ahead and paint the base with a Rhinox hide, which is a Citadel paint. That is my darkest brown paint I do have right now. So we are going to use a Rhinox hide for the base. That's how I've been doing them. And then while all the other stuff is drying, make sure that you do not hit the skin at all with any of the speed paints. It will mess it up. You will have to repaint the skin and layer it back up, because it's very hard to fix skin once you hit it. So almost at the finish line. I put the Rhinox out on there. This is now dry with the glazes on there. And what we're going to do is we're going to do our highlights. So the red, we're going to edge highlight and try to highlight certain areas with a matte red, which would be a brighter red, of course. That will bring it more to life in the red areas. I'm going to be scratchy with it. I don't want to make it too bold, but I'm going to try to make the stuff pop. Then with the gray areas, I'm going to try to go back over with the same basalt gray and see how it works. And the brown areas, I'm going to use probably a dark rust, because I think that worked well last night for me. So I will use that to highlight the brown areas. And some parts I'm just going to be scratchy with a gunmetal to kind of give her that war-torn look. So once that's all done, we will finish that. Then we will paint the trim of this black and put her name, and she'll be ready to go for Bunkers and Badasses. And here you have it, a finished Athena. So doing the highlights, you want to make sure that you thoroughly look at everything that you're painting. You just want the high areas, the raised areas to pop. So just graze the brush on there with whatever color you are highlighting. And don't be afraid to mix paints too, to get a color that's a bit lighter but not too light, because you don't want to go too light either. I went ahead and flocked the base like I've been doing. I did add a tuft back there, a grass tuft, just one, simple, and I put her name on the base. If this video helped you out in any sort of way, be sure to leave this video a huge like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hopefully this video helps you paint your Athena for Monster Fight Club's Borderlands. And if you don't have Athena, or you just are tuning in just for the entertainment, I really do appreciate that. I do want to also say that I may not get an upload out to you guys tomorrow, being the fact that I have some things that I do have to do, and I also have 2 commissions, painting commissions, that I do have to start working on. If it was 1, I could probably squeeze in a miniature a day, but I have 2 painting commissions, so it takes some time to do the commissions, because the commissions that I do are not this big. They are actually like this big. Like, they're pretty decent sized commissions, so I do have to take the time away from these guys to work on that, because I get paid to do that. So hopefully I can squeeze in another miniature though, because I do have plans. My next one is going to be Claptrap, and I was going to try to do this today so that I could have an upload for tomorrow, but that's kind of the issue. So I didn't get to it. So hopefully maybe I can squeeze this in, because Claptrap isn't too hard. He's already primed and everything. All I have to do is dry brush him, and actually I think he's dry brushed too. He is dry brushed, so he's ready to go. So yeah, soon as I get a chance to paint, this will be the next one. But this one shouldn't be too long. Claptrap isn't too hard. He's literally yellow and white and black and gray. He's not that difficult. The gun, I was actually looking for the gun on the Borderlands fandom, and I cannot figure out. I think it's a convergence. That's the only thing that I can think of. I literally tried to find out what gun that is, and the only reason why I think it's a convergence, because the way it's shaped in the arm area, that's the only way. It has like that notch. So I'm just going to paint it up as convergence. I don't care. I try to find out what guns are which so that I can paint them right, because that bugs me, but it's what it is. So hopefully I can squeeze that in tomorrow. If I cannot, then there will be an upload hopefully the next day. There should be one. So just cross your fingers if you guys have been watching these videos. So thank you guys for checking out this video. As always, I will catch you in the next one.